Hi, how are you?
I'm not bad.
Every country is different,
That's true.
but we do share some similarities, like some parties and stuff.
So it's so cool that we share all these similarities, but we wouldn't even know unless we communicate with someone.
Hi, I'm Swanette. I'm Ecuadorian. How about you?
Hi, I'm Ashley. I'm from Jamaica.
Sure. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Like, how is it for you to be in Caribbean here in the United States?
Okay, sure, no problem. I am actually a first-generation student, and I've been here for a year and a little bit over.
So you moved from Jamaica to here?
Recently. It was hard at first, I won't lie, but it eventually got easier coming to MC, interacting with other Jamaicans, and stuff like that. How long have you been here?
Well, I actually moved here 4 years ago, and it was kind of hard for me at the beginning because I didn't speak the language. I remember my second day here in the States, I went to McDonald's and I actually asked for a burger, and I didn't even know what the girl was telling me. She was asking me for here or to go. I had no idea what that meant, and you have no idea how that felt just to order one burger and to understand what she was telling me. So that day I actually made a decision. I'm gonna change that attitude about my English here in the States. So I started taking English classes. The English classes that I did at the beginning were very simple. They were at the county where I lived in the moment. Then when I moved to Montgomery County, I decided to come here at the MC, and that actually changed completely my perspective of how the life was here in the United States. I had to take English classes first, and yeah, from that point, I've been learning every single day, and that's my mindset today. I learn every day.
Every day, at least one thing every day.
Yes.
I will admit that the language barrier for me was also a problem. I speak English, it's my native language, but my accent was so strong that I would overpronounce things, if that made sense. So it was kind of hard for people to pick up on what I was saying.
Yeah, and that happened to me too at the beginning. While I was learning English, and I had people maybe from, I want to say Cameroon or any other country, they also had an accent while learning the language, right? So we both were trying to communicate with each other, so that was a barrier too. We both were trying to learn, but at the same time, it was hard to understand each other. And yeah, I do understand what it means for you. Now I understand better than I did before, but as I said, everything has been a progress for me.
Okay, and I'm glad you're on your way to learning English to the best of your abilities. It wasn't even just the language itself, it was just the whole culture shock difference.
Yes,
everything was so different. People communicated differently. It was very new for me, and it took a while for me to adjust.
Yeah, same. Like in my country, people are normally, we say hi to each other with a hug, we kiss to each other. But here, when I first got here, is something that I had to learn little by little. That's why even today, when I get to meet someone, it's like I'm here, and then if someone says hi to me, I just wait for them to give the first step, you know what I mean? So that's just an example. That's a cultural shock here, and that I had when I first came. Now I've been getting used to that. So
yeah, that's kind of the same for me. Back home, whenever I'm walking, I'd be like, hi.
Right, you just say hi to
yes.
Right, that's how we do.
Yeah, that's technically
we're all friends there, but here it's kind of different.
It's a little bit different.
You have to have like a wall, I would say, and then little by little you let that wall.
Totally understand. So you said you've been here for 4 years.
4, yes.
What do you love about America?
What do I like about America? Well, actually, America allowed me to have a better opportunity when it comes to education and also jobs. In my countries, we don't have that many opportunities about jobs, and the same thing with school. When I finished high school in my country, I really didn't know what to do. I didn't know what else, where to go, because normally education is either very expensive or you have to know someone so they can put you in the university. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So when I realized I was gonna have the opportunity to come here, I just took it. I didn't think twice. I came here, and at the beginning, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to study English, and this is kind of crazy because I was actually living here, so I was actually thinking and taking classes in Spanish. I actually Googled that. There are classes here in Spanish, but nothing like something that I wanted. I'm a business major. I do accounting, that's my thing. And if I wanted to take like accounting classes in Spanish, that was gonna be like super hard for me because I had to have like a degree from my country to actually change it here in the States. That was a different process for me, but I just had a high school diploma. So that was not an option. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn English then. That was my first thing. And how about you? What's your major though?
My major is biological sciences.
Wow.
You like numbers, I like words.
Yes.
Yes, I
can
like
tell.
experiments and stuff like that. But it would be the same for me, like in about America, with the more opportunities and more directions that you can go. Back home, it's more like you do this, and you only have one path to go or two paths to go, and it doesn't diverge from that. But here, if you fall off, you can easily pick up. There are a lot more opportunities, and I especially love that because I change my mind quickly. So with more opportunities, I can get to do more things.
That's true, that's true. Have you gone back to your country?
I did. I went back in the summer for vacation for a month.
The past summer? Okay.
It was amazing. I didn't want to leave, but
I imagine.
yeah.
Yes. I actually went to my country too last summer, and same. I didn't want to leave, but it was like a mix. I was 50-50, I would say.
It's true.
Being in my country, I'm in love with the food. I love my food. My family, my friends, the closeness that they make you feel, everything. But on the other part, I wanted to come back. That's what I'm saying. It was 50-50. Part of me, it's already attached here to the States. So yes, I wanted to come back. I do miss my country every day, and I feel like being here and just telling you that I'm Ecuadorian and just having the opportunity to talk to you is like I'm representing my country, you know?
Yes.
I'm representing my culture, and yes. How about you? Do you feel the same?
I do feel the same. I won't want to comment on me going back home. It was 50-50 as well because I have friends and family back home. I had friends and family at MC.
Here,
so it's like, I want to stay home, but I want to be my centers. It was so mixed, but I will be going back soon again, so I'm just looking forward to that. But for now, I'm just marveling in this moment. And I do feel like I'm representing my culture just by speaking about it. Even at the multicultural fair, when we had the trifles and stuff like that, I felt so proud that I could do that.
You participated at the culture? Oh, I couldn't.
You can probably next year.
Next year.
I felt so proud.
Hoping on that.
Yes, I could help you with trifold.
Okay.
I felt so proud that I could do that and represent them to the best of my abilities because here at MC, I have grounds to do that. And if I do have the ground, I'm going to make use of that opportunity.
Yes, that's true. Just when someone asks me like where I'm from, it's like just saying the name of my country. To me, that's a lot, you know. It represents my entire culture, where I'm from, my language, my food, everything. And if you ask me like, what do you eat? What do you do for fun in your country? You know, little things like that. I'm gonna be talking to you because I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
And you know, I've had the opportunity to talk to a lot of Jamaicans here, and I don't want to say because every country is different, but we do share some similarities, like some parties and stuff. I've tried the, what's it called, the jerk chicken.
Yeah.
It's really nice. I love it though. So that's one thing that I like about living here in Maryland, or maybe living here in this particular area, that I get to meet people from everywhere in this world. So yeah.
It's a melting pot, and that's what I really love about the DMV area. Also, with the similarities we do, because I call the drink sorrel, but you call it agua de Jamaica.
Oh, yes.
You call it agua de Jamaica, but I didn't know that until you said it, so because I wouldn't have known. So it's so cool that we share all these similarities, but we wouldn't even know unless we communicate with someone from a different culture just to know. Yes, I think like everyone should do that.
We actually, we're talking about jerk chicken, which I loved, by the way, and I already told you this, but we actually have some jerk chicken in my country too. The only thing is that we don't have the same sauce. Yeah, because yours is a bit more spicy than mine, but it's okay because you use other spices and everything, and also because of the location. What is it for you being here? Do you feel that being a Jamaican has given you like any barriers here, or?
I wouldn't say barriers per se, except from the language barrier and the culture shock. But otherwise from that, I feel like taking that aspect of myself and inputting it into the American society has made me better well-rounded, if that makes sense. Because being from third world and then coming to here, it gives me perspectives on both sides. So I'm a better rounded person when it comes to almost anything, schoolwork, when it comes to social events, anything at all. Because I now have the perspectives of two sides. And I like that. I feel like that's almost the same with immigrants from anywhere at all, that they can take their cultural roots and mix it with the new experiences here just to make an overall better person.
It's like you adapt yourself into the culture that you're living, but also you bring your customs to the new culture that you're living in. And as I said before, this is what I actually like about living in this area. I get to meet people that are very attached to their culture, and somehow they put a barrier into the American culture. So I don't know why they do that. I actually hope people might change that in the future, because it's great when you actually assimilate your culture into the new culture. So that's what I've been doing, and every time I get to meet someone from a different culture, I'm always going to be asking them more about their cultures, because the more you know, the more your personal knowledge is going to expand. So you can be aware of anything that is going on here.
And that is true. I do agree that you can take your culture, and also when you get here, you don't have to completely eliminate your culture, or you don't have to completely eliminate your American culture. But once you find the balance between those two, then you'll be unstoppable.
How old are you, you said?
I'm 20 years old.
20. So you graduated high school in your country?
I did, yes.
So same. I finished high school in my country, and when I came here, I'm not saying I was actually expecting the education to be the same as it was in my country, but sometimes when I get to talk to my friends how, if they're doing business major like I am, or any other major, normally, I don't want to say education is easier, or people, they just go to school and they just literally don't learn anything. I don't want to say that, but here is like professors, they like to challenge yourself.
That's true.
Being here actually led me to think, and somehow when I was living in Ecuador and when I finished high school, most of my high school years, I memorized everything, because the professors wanted me to, everything that was in the book, they wanted me to have that on my test. And I was expecting to do the same here, I remember when I was taking one of my English classes first, and we were supposed to write about the rules about how you write an essay. So I was literally memorizing every single rule, like 1 is this, 2 is this. That's how I memorized it, like 1 period, and then you
write it.
The rule, right? So I memorized it, and that's how I did it on my test. And then when I turned in my test, of course my professor rated it. It was okay because everything was exactly the same. She said, it's fine though, I don't want you to start thinking. And those words actually make click on my head, like, I want you to start thinking. She wanted me to analyze everything, and that's very important. That's what I've learned here in the States. when I go to a classroom and then when I sit down and then pay attention to the professor and they try to explain everything, I go home, read the material, and analyze everything that the professor taught me that day. And when I talk to my friends, again, I don't want to say education is easier there, but normally they have multiple choice questions in exams. We do have that here. We do also have that here, multiple choice questions. But I feel like here they want me to analyze,
challenge
think.
yourself.
They want yeah, exactly. They want me to challenge myself. They want me to get out of my comfort zone. But education there it's a bit different than how it is here.
And I will say it would be the opposite for me, kinda, because when I'm back home, you're always saying that, oh, education in America is easier than it is back home. And I got here with that mentality. I'm like, oh, this is probably gonna be a breeze, this is gonna be fine. But then I walked into my occupation and I'm like, oops, probably it's not. The systems aren't the same because back home in high school, during my last year, because we go up to grade 13, here they only go up to grade 12. So during my last year, I came here and it was extremely different. Lab reports were different. Back home, I had to write everything from the beginning to the end. But here it's a little bit easier. They give you the steps and all of that, so it makes it easier for you to succeed if you get what I'm saying. So it was technically a little bit easier here, but the difficulty was the intensity remained the same. It was still a lot of work. I still had to work hard. But I will admit that transitioning wasn't as difficult as I thought it would be. It was pretty okay.
Pretty okay.
Yes.
I'm glad to hear that though, because I remember one day I was taking this exam and I was trying to remember the things that was on the book. I was just trying to remember. Let's say the word was communication, and I was just trying to remember the word communication, and I just couldn't. And I told the professor, I'm very sorry, I cannot remember the word that follows this one. And she was like, as long as you can explain the meaning to a friend, then you understand the subject. So yeah. That's
And I think transitioning was easy too because of MC. They provided a lot of resources for me to use. And apart from that, being in a classroom, as you said earlier, I get to realize there are different methods of thinking because then back home I learned one way, but here I learned different ways. And then my classmates from other cultures might say, but hey, I learned it this way. And then when our study group comes along, I might be exposed to ways that I didn't think of before. And that's just because of the diversity of different learning methods.
That's when culture comes back in. Like, somehow you learn to do this specific thing this way, and then your friend learned it to do it this way, and then you actually mix things.
Merge it.
Yes.
And then it becomes, wow, I didn't know you could do it this way. Wow. And then everything becomes relatively easier.
It's amazing to learn from different people here.
Yes. When you first got to MC, how was the environment for you, meaning the cultural environment? Meaning, how did you adapt after a while? Did you have friends? How was that?
I didn't have friends at the beginning. I normally came to classes and just sat down, pay attention, and leave. Never allowed myself to be open to people, not because I didn't want to, but I just felt that the time for the class was very short, that, you know, my time was not to make friends, my time was to pay attention. And I did make a couple of friends, let's say when we did have like group projects, but that was it. Nothing that actually we texted each other later that day to have a coffee, for example. Nothing like that. But people were always very open to me, and I was always very open to them too. But actually being in the student life, I actually work in the student life, has allowed me to open even more to people and get to know people even more. I feel like everyone has been very welcoming to me, and I'm very glad of that. And how's that been for you, though?
So when I just got here,
Yes.
I did not know anyone. I felt so alone, but that became a mission for me to find a family here at MC. So that's why I applied to be a center in my first year. And then I started meeting people from Pakistan, Uzbekistan, Ghana, because we had to walk around to get 100 people to sign our packages. So by the time I'm talking to them, I'm learning so much about them, and I'm like, wow, this is cool. And I go home and I'm like, Mom, I met someone from Ghana, I met someone from Pakistan, because back home you wouldn't have that chance to say, hey, I met this person. So it became so cool all of a sudden that we could merge cultures and talk about different things. So it was moving here, or is the food, the weather, and all of that.
I think my process has been way much more slowly than yours, because you've been here for, what do you say, 1 year?
Yes.
1 year, something like that. I've been here for 4, and I'm just telling you, I've been adapting myself every day, but the more I've been doing it since I want to say the beginning of this year. So for my past 3 years here in the country, I was just a typical student who came to school, pay attention, and then leave. Same thing with the other job that I had before. Went to work, that's it. But now I'm like more open to people. I really do want to get to know people, and I really do want people to get to know me. I just don't want people to know my name and how old I am. I really want people to know what's behind my name, because I'm Swaneth, that's it. But who's Swaneth?
Who's Swaneth? Yeah.
So that's an everyday thing. You work on that. So, and as I said at the beginning of the conversation, I've been adapting myself to the culture, to the American culture, every day. I do it every day. I work on that every day, and every day I learn. Every day I get to meet new people, and I'm very glad of the student life because of that.
And I do want to say it is a learning process, because we're all trying to learn every day. When you're from somewhere else, you have to adapt every day you wake up. As I step through these doors, I try to remember that I'm in America, but I'm also Jamaican, and I try to merge that to bring the best me forward. Yes, the best me forward for the day.
Well, Ashley, it has been really great to talk to you. I just want to say thank you, because you took the time to sit here and talk to me about your culture and how everything has been here in MC for you. And obviously, I look forward to know more about you.
And I want to thank you, Sonat, because I've always known your name, but I've never actually known who you are. And I just want to thank you for, one, complimenting the jerk chicken. It is really good. Yes. I want to thank you for the opportunity, and for also making me say, hey, I know someone from Ecuador, and opening doors to the similarities between our cultures and experiences.
Yes, we actually have to try that out when Jamaica to see what's the similarity or the difference between them, okay?
Yes, we should. All right, thank you.
Sure, thank you.
Actually, can you hug me?
Yes. That's good.